Finally, the day of the shoot. One of the most important things to do is to have a good meal before the shoot. Many times I've found that models will skip the meal or skip breakfast the day of the shoot because they don't want to come in looking bloated. It's actually probably one of the worst decisions because the shoot can be hard. It can be outside, it can be in the sun, it can be strenuous holding a pose while I'm getting different angles. And the last thing I need is for a model to fall out and have to figure out a way to get them to feel better again, to get some nutrition, some water in them. So make sure you eat a good meal before the photo shoot. Very important. In this particular shoot, since I knew we would be the model and myself and the videographer who was videoing it for the YouTube video, I knew we'd be actually in the water. It's a salt water. So I went ahead and bought 2-gallon jugs of water from Walmart and had that in my vehicle so that we could wash the sand and the salt off. Had some towels in the back of the vehicle, that way we could dry off, and just some small things like that. Had bug spray, had sunscreen, all these things right here because we were outside, we were in an environment that you need to be careful at and you need to prepare for. Other things that are helpful is to bring snacks, to bring drinking water. All those things are important in case the shoot goes a little bit longer or the model didn't eat breakfast. You can offer a granola bar or whatever the case may be, and water as well too, to keep everyone hydrated throughout the shoot. With any water shoots, of course, you want to bring an extra pair of clothes. You want to bring, if you're going to be walking in some marine area where it could be sharp objects, then bring some water shoes. And so all these things are considerations, things to bring when going on location. When it comes to the day of the shoot, arrive early, arrive on time, be prepared. If you're the model, go ahead and have your hair and makeup done, or at least to a certain level, have your hair dry. If you're going to have a hairstylist doing your hair, and don't come in with wet hair, and come in with a clean face and let the hair and makeup artist go ahead and be in a position to be able to apply the makeup right away. One of the first things we do when everyone arrives is to have a pre-shoot huddle, and that's to get everyone around. First of all, introduce everyone. Everyone may not know each other. This is so-and-so, they're going to be handling this. This is so-and-so, they're going to be posing. I'm the photographer, he's the videographer. We're all going to be working together. We're going to start off over here. Also, right after the huddle, I get with the model or the stylist and we go through the wardrobes. And so we can lay out exactly what we're going to be, the model will be wearing, and actually in which order as well too. It's very helpful. That way it keeps the shoot moving smoothly. Everyone knows what is coming up. And as the photographer, I'm also looking to see if there is particular clothing that may leave lines, indentations in the skin. And so I may plan the shoot or the wardrobe based upon having those towards the end. That way, if there's a tight mark that goes around an arm on a sleeve, if we do that at the end, then that mark won't have to be photoshopped out or be distracted in the final images if it was to be placed on earlier in the shoot. Just some things to think about. One of the challenges is to shoot enough content, enough footage, enough pictures without overshooting. And this is such a fine balance because you want to have enough, you want to have a little bit of extra, but you can sometimes just click, 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 and next thing you know, you have maybe 1,000 images to go through, and that is time consuming. Time is money. And so you want to shoot enough, but not overshoot. And that includes video as well too. So you got to get the good shots, but you got to make sure you don't overshoot as well too, because that can be time consuming. As we talked about earlier, the mood board is either shown digitally on a computer screen or on a phone. I will, if it's shooting here in the studio, I shoot tethered, which means that I have a cable connected to my camera, which goes to my computer. And once I take the picture, it actually pops right up on the monitor. And so I'm able to look at it. I can zoom in, make sure everything is in focus that I want to be in focus. And then typically after a set, so a set would be a particular pose in a particular outfit, bring the model over, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the screen, the monitor, and I'll say, okay, see what we did here. This is why I had you turn just a little bit, or I moved your arm just a little bit to create some negative space, or I had you relax your fingers a little bit. And so I'm helping coach the model, saying, this is what I'm going for. This is what it looks like on camera. I may have told you to do something that feels like awkward, but it actually looks very good on camera. And then this is why I had you just turn just a little bit, because that gave just a little bit of shadow on this side while it was light on the other side. And so it's a learning process. It's a teaching moment where I'm able to show the model exactly why I'm having them pose a certain way. And a lot of times we'll say, okay, let's go do this pose again, and then we're just going to make this slight modification, and then we'll shoot that again. And then one thing that I love to do at the very end is to go through it and say, which ones do you like? And then literally we'll just star the ones that either one of us like. And sometimes we come across that killer shot right off the get-go, and I go, well, that's going to be one of my portfolio shots. So I give that 2 stars, and automatically that's going to be one of the final images that I edit. But it's nice to go through with the client, the customer, the model, and so that we can both agree upon these are the subset of images that we like. And it's very helpful, and it saves time on the backside from editing. I'm not over editing pictures that the model doesn't necessarily want or the client doesn't want. So very helpful, and so everyone gets to see exactly. And if we don't like the images, we can just shoot again right there. And so it's very helpful to shoot tethered when at all possible. The mood board is also very helpful. It keeps us on track. It keeps us figuring out what the next pose may be, what the next clothing change may be, and the model can look at it and see, okay, this is how the mood board, how the model was posing in it, and then that just gives us a starting point to go, and then we can make adjustments from there. It just gives us a good base. After the shoot, first thing, I usually eat. I'm probably hungry. Usually the shoots last some time. So if I haven't been snacking, then I'm ready for a meal. So come back to the studio here in Surf City, and usually, actually, one of the first things I do is I start grabbing the SD cards out of my cameras and start copying the files over to my computer. And before I ever delete any of the files off the SD card, I make sure that I've copied it in 2 different locations, 2 different devices. That way we don't lose any of the data. And then I go eat while that data is copying over. Food is always good, and sometimes I will take the team out and we will go all eat together. I'm right across the street from Coastal Wings and Spirits, and so that's a frequent place where we will go and just kind of talk about the shoot and just relax, have a good time, all while the data is being transferred from the SD cards over to the computer. So food after the shoot. Also, you're going to want to clean the equipment. I'll start taking the batteries out, start putting them in there charging. Of course, we just dump the gear usually in the studio right on the floor, and so we'll start cleaning up anything that needs to be cleaned, taking things apart, hanging things up, putting things away, and then getting ready literally for the next shoot, which may just be happening in an hour or so. So the cleanup process is also part of that. And then finally, the communication aspect. Let the client know, you should be expecting to see, a deliverable, whether it's proofs or whether it's the final product in X amount of time. Set some standards, some expectations, and then go ahead and deliver those. So that's kind of some of the things that we do after the shoot. So we're done with the shoot. Gear's been cleaned up. We've had a good meal. Customer's now gone. Now starts the editing process. And this can take almost as long as the actual shoot itself, depending on what the deliverable is. There may be an intermediate that's kind of like proofs that are sent out. So they have to be prepared. They have to be uploaded to a website, or they have to be put on a thumb drive and delivered to the client. Some type of mechanism to deliver those, or maybe there will be an in-person review where they'll be coming back at a separate time to actually pick out the final images. So all this is just part of the process. I hope this video has helped you to show all the steps that go into professional video or photo shoot. It is a lot of time, it's a lot of effort. It's a fun process though, and it is a repeatable process with different variances with each individual project. You know, you can always come in with the best plan, but you got to be ready to make some on-the-fly changes. Maybe the weather changes, maybe something comes across the screen, or someone walks into the path, or maybe you're forced to move locations due to unforeseen events, or whatever the case may be. So it's always good to have a plan, but just know that you're going to have to be flexible and then go from there. But if you hire a professional photographer, the chances of having good quality images or video each time is very high. Whereas if you don't hire a professional photographer, the person may only have one camera with them, and so if that breaks or something happens, then the shoot's over, or something else has to happen. So professionals typically going to have backup gear. They're going to have experience in doing this type of shoot, or have thoroughly researched and studied it. They're going to have a game plan from the get-go. They're going to have a backup plan. And then hopefully they have had good communication, so everyone knows what to expect when it comes to what's going to happen the day of the shoot, and then when the deliverable will be delivered. If you like these videos, please subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notified when new videos are uploaded, and please go ahead and share them with your friends on social media. If you like them, share them, and go ahead and comment down below. Give me some feedback. Do you like these kind of videos? What are some topics that we should cover? And just go ahead and I'd love to interact. I read all the comments, all one of them. So go ahead and comment, and we can get a discussion going.